Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to SimPlay Motorsport. My name is Dan Davis, and I'll be bringing you all the live action here at Zandvoort for the rounds 7 and 8, fourth round of the season of the GT4s. And like I said, we are here in the Netherlands for the next race of the season, and one exciting night's worth of racing we have ahead of us. We are confirmed to have 16 drivers here this evening, I believe, but a few of them still not here at the minute. So we have got confirmed 16 drivers. We are currently missing Gary Leach at the minute. I'm not sure who else. Quite a few missing at this stage, but hopefully we should get all these guys in a few moments time. But nonetheless, we look forward to a great night's worth of racing here at Zandvoort, and it is really hotting up in the championship for the GT4s. They've been fantastic to watch all season long, and I've been thoroughly enjoying commentating on them. We are at the halfway stage for them, and as you can see there, Holling just struggling there with the tight twisty circuit, and this is one of the circuits that we should see the GT4s really excel at. As we see Kieran O'Reilly there in the Ginetta running a little bit wide on exit, taking a lot of grass as well. We've got Matthew Duffin currently out on track at the minute, so is Jamal Clouden, as is Max Mulder, the home favourite, as well as Tim Venting, another one we're missing at the minute. So the Dutch boys will be looking to try and do well here at their home circuit, but it is this man, Kieran O'Reilly, currently leading the way at this very stage. Now, as well, we want to look at the championship standings, and here they are as it stands at the minute. It is now Tim Venting who's leading the way in the championship. He's got a comfortable gap at the minute ahead of Matthew Duffin, with Jamal Clouden sitting in third. P4 is Richard Beasley, with Max Mulder sitting in fifth place. Sky Schondermeyer sitting in that sixth place position, with Sam sitting in seventh after a very good night's racing last time out at Watkins Glen. S2M Burbeck currently eighth in the championship, with Holling in ninth, and Gary Leach sitting in that 10th place position. And that is your top 10 at the minute in the championship. I did open that up and only gave me the top 10. I will read the rest out. Gary Leach currently sat 10th in the championship. P. Radin sat 11th, with Skunky High with a fantastic night with the second Grand Slam we've seen this season, sitting in that 13th place position. 14th is Darren Bell, 15th is Kay Barrett, 16th is Croupiers, with Gray pulling out in 17th. With 18th is then DJ Phil, 19th is Kimberly, 20th is Diz, with Goudet sat in 21st, Michael in 22nd, with Cardoff in 24th, Dimasaki at the back of the pack, as we have Nuke Waste and DJ Phil now join us as well. And those are the championships now. Nuke Waste actually scoring points, not scoring points last week, but he's still in this evening. So that is your championship standings, and obviously with the way the championship standings feed out, obviously our GT4s run with ballast, and obviously the top 8 with the ballast for this round. So if we have now a look at who is carrying what in the ballast situation, it's going to be Tim Venting carrying most of the weight this week. He's got 40 kilos on board, with Matthew Duffin sitting with 35 kilos, with Jamal Clouden carrying 30, Richard Beasley carrying 25, with Max Mulder carrying 20, Sky Schondermeyer carrying 15, Sam with 10, and S2M Burbeck carrying 5 kilos. Now obviously those 5 kilos may not do much, but it will still do something, and it will still hamper some of the drivers as well. So that is your current weight for going into Zandvoort. And another thing we want to look at as well is the rest of the calendar that's still left to go. We've done Snap, Rebel Ring, Brands Hatch, Circuit of the Americas, Indianapolis, Paul Ricard, Laguna Seca and Hungaroring, and last week we went to the final United States stop at Watkins Glen. This time we're in the Netherlands for some of the home drivers of Max Mulder and Tim Venting, and round 10 of the season for the GT3s and GT4s, but for these guys it's their midway season, and we still got Zolder and Valencia to round off the season as well. It's going to be an exciting end to this season, and I'm very much going to be sad that the season's coming to an end, but also quite looking forward to a little bit of break. And we've got obviously a new plan for the new season, where we'll be probably looking into a BOP system coming your way. So a lot of drivers will be testing new cars and seeing how they feel with the brand new wheels underneath them with the BOP system in place. But a reminder of tonight's schedule: we have only 2 sprint races here this evening, 2 20-minute races. Race 1 will be based on a reverse grid order based on the championship standings, and we will also be carrying the weight as well. Once we get the reverse grid race out of the way, we will then head into a qualifying session. Into the qualifying session, they'll have 15 minutes to set their best times, and obviously that will set the grid for race 2. And obviously race 2, another 20-minute race, just flat out sprint races, nothing less, nothing more, and it is going to be fast and furious. No pit stops required, no fuel, no tyres required. It is literally just a quick couple of sprint races here, as these GT4s are very good at going wheel to wheel with one another. And let's quickly talk about this fantastic circuit here at Zandvoort. An iconic circuit, been known to all drivers around the world, and obviously the home of Max Verstappen. And it's an FIA Grade 1, holds a capacity of 105,000 people. As I'd like to switch between drivers, and yeah, the circuit holds some major events like DTM, GT World Europe, ADAC, GT Masters, but obviously what it is mainly known for is obviously the Formula 1 returning back here, and it's a fantastic circuit. Lap record is held by Lewis Hamilton in the Mercedes W12 of the 2021 car of a 1:11.0. Don't think we're going to be seeing those lap times here this evening, but the track is 4.2 kilometers long, and in miles that is 2.6 miles long. And obviously with the new format, it is banked. It's got lovely corners to it, but obviously we're running in the old 2019 version, so we don't have the banked corners, so a lot more difficult for the GT4s and GT3s this week. Obviously just outside the beach, which is literally over the side of the circuit, and there was plans for races at Zandvoort before World War II. The first street race was actually held on the 3rd of June 1939. However, a permanent racetrack was not constructed until after the war, using communicational roads built by the German army. So there's a bit of an insight for you about this circuit. And ever since it's been known, there was no Dutch Grand Prix in 1994, 1956 and 1957, but in 1955 saw the first true Formula 1 race as a part of the Drivers' Championship. The Dutch Grand Prix then returning back to 1958 and remaining a permanent fixture of the F1 calendar all the way up to 1972. Through to 1985, there was nothing held in the first 21st century. It's then returning back once again thanks to Formula 1, and obviously the main man himself, Max Verstappen, bringing back the circuit as well. And you see there Kieran O'Reilly just practicing a pit entry, and that's a lot of what the GT3s have got to worry about this next week. Well, this week coming, sorry, I say next week, it's this week coming. But as you see there, Max Mulder just testing the limits. And again, P. Radon coming in. I'm not sure why these guys are practicing pit lane. They don't really necessarily need to learn it for the GT4s, because they probably won't be using the pit lane unless they're going to be running out of fuel. So Kieran O'Reilly currently setting the pace at the minute. Nice to see you in the chat there, Tracy. Hello to Let's Go Racing indeed. It is Kieran O'Reilly setting the pace with Sky Shondermeyer in second. Third is Richard Beasley. Fourth is Matthew Duffin. Fifth is Barrett. And sixth is Clouden. I think the BMWs here this evening are going to struggle. I think it's going to be a fight between the Ginettas and the Aston Martins here. It's going to be a struggle for the BMWs to get their power down. There's only really a couple of bits of the circuit where they can really get some true lap time underneath them. I don't know if there is a car on a lap currently. There is John Goudet, but he will not be able to complete the lap, so we will not be able to do a lap with him. But it is a good circuit, it's good fun to watch, and the elevation changes also for the GT3s are going to be tricky. For the GT4s, meanwhile, it should be a load of fun for them. So, before we get things underway with the racing this evening, I just want to have a quick say to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel and hit that bell to be notified so you don't miss anything here at SimPlay Motorsport. We've got a long week of racing this week with, like I said, the return of the GT3 Pro-Am and Pros are starting to get a little bit interesting with myself. I'm having a couple of bad rounds. Can the Cat Pack catch me before the end of the season? Meanwhile, in the Pro-Am, it is down to the BSP boys who are going for the title. It looks like Goudet is an outside chance, but anything can happen here at SimPlay Motorsport. We know that. It's going to be a busy week, and also while you're at it, while you're on our page, scroll down to the description and head over to our fantastic sponsors, Design Manchester and Audio Sport as well. Give them a like and follow on all their social media, as they give us a great opportunity to show off their products and their brand here at SimPlay Motorsport. And if you do want to be a part of the action here at SimPlay Motorsport, then head over to our Discord page, our SimGrid as well, to get yourself signed up and ready to go. Make sure you do the hot stints as well, because if you don't get those hot stints done and you've then confirmed your racing, then you will not be able to take part in the racing. We need you to do those hot stints. Obviously, we will not be taking any GT3 drivers on for the rest of the season. As obviously we're coming to the final end of the championship, but yeah, so it should be an interesting a couple of weeks ahead of us, but we will get some fun events on, probably on GT7, and once again we do our usual Nations Cup, and I'll be interested to see what the drivers want to see for fun events over the break. We might look into possibly doing another FBR event, or maybe if there's another community that wants to go toe-to-toe with SimPlay Racing. FBR have already beaten us, so we'll see who could beat us again. But nonetheless, please have a look on our Discord as well, and have a look on our social media, Facebook, Instagram, and obviously TikTok as well is what we're on, in the midst of sorting out Twitter. But yeah, we are 20 seconds away from orders here.
10 seconds.
And it's nice to see in the chat. We have a few of us in the chat. We've got Tracy saying, let's go Sky. Micro J is going, all go on Peony. I don't know how to vote on if I like Zandvoort. If Sky does well, then yes, I like it. So Tracy, obviously, we'll see how Sky gets on. Fury's granddad saying, evening all, good luck, everyone, choo-choo Thomas. And no Tim this week. He was confirmed to be racing, but it looks like he's not made the grid. We're also expecting Gary 131, but he'll probably get approached for race 2. So let's have a look at the running order for our first race this evening. It is Kieran O'Reilly who will start on pole position ahead of Nuclear Waste. Then it is John Goudet in P3, DJ Phil in P4 with Barrett in P5, P. Raiden in 6 with L. Holling in P7, S2M Borobex in 8th with Sky Shondermeyer in 9th, Max Mulder in 10th with Richard Beasley in 11th, Jamal Clouden in 13th, and Matt Uduffin right at the back of the pack with no Tim Ventink. This is a great opportunity for these boys to gain on him in the points, and the points have been very close. It's been very tight between them, just between Richard Beasley to Tim Ventink, which is first to fourth, is 14 points. So with no Tim Ventink this week at this stage, it's really going to bring the gaps down. And obviously we've got Sky here who will gain some points. We've also got Max Mulder, more points will gain for him as well. So we'll see what happens with Tim here. But nonetheless, where's Percy Woo Woo? Not a clue what you're on about there, Sati. But it's nice to see you guys all in the chat. Get behind your drivers. And we'll put a poll up again. So mixed emotions about this circuit. As they're just coming to the midpoint of the circuit now. And they're about to get themselves into a 2x2 formation, a very, very tight circuit, and we will see who will come out on top here tonight. Will we get the same winner? Will we get multiple different winners? That is the question, but nonetheless, it's going to be very difficult to overtake. Turn 1 is probably your best bet around this circuit, but as they get themselves all into a line, we'll get ready to get under the starters' orders, as I just put another poll up. And there you go, guys. Poll up for who you think is going to win this race. As they exit the final corner now, it is Kieran O'Reilly on the front row with nuclear waste with him as well. No Tim Venting for the first race, so it's all up for grabs as we are about to go green here at Zandvoort. Green line. For the GT4 action, and already with the tight grid that it is, they've all fanned out ever so slightly as they all head up towards turn number 1. And it looks like John Goudet in the BMW looking to the inside, but O'Reilly's got it covered. And they all go into turn 1. Raiden's going off very wide, and the only car to go off as everyone else manages to fan their way into positions. As John Goudet moves up the inside of nuclear waste. There is a few cars bouncing over the curbs, and that is DJ Phil in the Chevy. Did any of the guys get collected? No, they've all managed to work their way through. But look at the back group of drivers here, and we've got Max, Clouden, Beasley and Matt all very close to one another. But we look to the front, and it is Riley leading the way ahead of Waste, who's gone off. Goudet is still ahead of Waste, so Waste has made a mistake and gone wide, and that's allowed the rest of the pack. Max Mulder's been off, and he's lost out to the guys in the championship standings. As we've got Senna, Max or Sky for the win, and Tracy saying Sky for the win. Obviously their names didn't pop up, so that's who they're voting for. But it is O'Reilly leading the way from Goudet, from Waste, not Waste anymore, it is now Sky Schondermeyer who's on the move. And Barrett now going side by side with S2M Borobex as they head down towards the right-hander. And Barrett's trying to muscle his way through in the Mercedes-Benz, and S2M Borobex bouncing over the curb, and they make contact. That's going to allow Holling to go through, and then the rest of the pack. There's Jamal Clouden, Matthew Duffin's a part of that as well, and there's Richard Beasley as they work their way through the final sector as well, all very tight and congested. Clouden trying to go around the outside of S2M Borobex, but Matthew Duffin comes up the inside and gets the job done. Now though, here comes Jamal Clouden in that BMW, very, very fast in a straight line. But obviously very tight circuit, and it's difficult to get past the Ginettas, who are going to be very strong around here. And Clouden trying to go around the outside, but he's missed his brakes and gone wide and onto the gravel, so he drops down the order. Meanwhile, Sky is on the mission to try and gain some more points in this championship. O'Reilly though pulling away from Goudet, from Sky, from Holling, who's gone off, and is at a moment he's trying to get out of everyone's way. And Richard Beasley's gone round. Richard Beasley's been tapped round by Barrett, and around he goes. And the rest of the pack carry on through, and that's allowed Matt up into 4th place position with S2M Borobex in 5th, Clouden 6th, Barrett in 7th. Nuclear Waste going very wide there in 8th, and is he going to get it stopped? He goes a little bit wide, and that's going to allow DJ Phil back through into 8th place. So Waste down to 9th, Raiden 10th, and Max Mulder now getting past the pair of them. Holling down to 11th, and Beasley now in 13th. Sky though now starting to put some pressure onto the back of Goudet, who's had a bit of a moment there in the BMW. They're trying to get a good exit, a good run towards turn number 1. But here comes Sky Schundermeyer. He's looking left, he's looking right, and he's sticking to the racing line at the minute. Goudet defending hard into the chicane, and Sky's going to try and go all the way around the outside, but he's not quite got the grip there. Matt's pulling away from the pack behind him, but he's not quite able to stick with these two at this stage. Meanwhile, Clouden's on the move and looking like he's trying to find a way through S2M Borobex, but at this stage he can't seem to find a way through. Goudet, meanwhile, is still on the hunt for Sky Schundelmeyer. Oh, sorry, Sky's got past Goudet. So I'm not sure where he'd done that. So Sky got past Goudet, so we missed that move. But Matt now is up and trying to get onto the back of Goudet. And Esteban Borobak's managing to defend that inside line from Jamal Clouden. And Max Mulder is slowly working his way onto the back of this pack. Goudet not able to stick with Sky at the minute. Can Sky do anything about O'Reilly, who's disappeared into the distance? Matthew Duffin starting to catch onto the back of John Goudet. Jamal Clouden right on the back bumper of the Ginetta, and he's going to have the inside, but he hasn't quite got the grip, and he bumps over the grass onto the curb and loses speed, loses momentum, and this is all helping Max Mulder get a little bit closer. So here comes Barrett down the inside, looking for an opportunity to go through, but he can't find the door opening there. Sky is pulling away from Goudet. Matthew Duffin not still slowly creeping onto the back of Goudet. That gap's slowly coming down. Max Mulder's gone very wide and onto the gravel, and Holling now onto the back of DJ Phil. Also Beasley looking to make a move on Nuclear Waste. But we go back to this fight between Clouden and S2M Borobak, with Barrett just in the background. Obviously all that power in the BMW is struggling to be put down at the minute on this very tight, twisty circuit. And at this minute, Clouden not able to capitalise at the minute on that Ginetta, but he's just having to be patient. He just can't force his way through at this stage of the race. Meanwhile, Matt has brought the gap down to 8/10 between him and Clouden. Clouden bouncing over the grass there. Sky also was bouncing through that grass as well, as Matt's, the Ginettas are definitely looking the strongest car here, as Matt's on the attack on the back of Goudet. The Aston's not looking too bad either, but it's definitely looking like Ginetta territory here. So Goudet now starting to have some form of pressure put on him by Matthew Duffin. Matt would dearly like to get on the podium. He hasn't had a win this season, as Pete Radin's dropped down the order. That's allowed Beasley to get up the order a bit more. And it's really who's going to be turning up to the final race with barely any weight on. That's the, and Goudet's made a mistake. Goudet's made a mistake. He's gone wide, and that's allowed Matthew Duffin up onto the podium. And can he do anything about Sky? Not at this stage. Meanwhile, Sky can't have any answer to Riley at the minute, who's obviously got no weight on board the car, which is helping him out massively. Sky is carrying a little bit of weight, not a massive amount. As Max now right on the back bumper there of Barrett. Meanwhile, DJ Phil's dropped down the order, and Radin's going to go past him up the inside, and through goes Radin. Meanwhile, Max Mulder is on the move, and Jamal Clouden has actually lost touch to S2M Borobak. So again, looks like the Ginetta just getting itself in a comfortable zone and looking now to attack Goudet instead. So S2M Borobak looking for an opportunity. Meanwhile, it's more like Max Mulder's on the attack at his home circuit, and he can't find a way through at the minute on Barrett, who blocks the inside, and Max Mulder has to try something different. Meanwhile, Barrett's on the attack of Clouden. Clouden running a little bit wide and kicking up the dirt. And all this is being held up by John Goudet. It is a six-way train at the minute. So 1 minute Barrett is putting pressure on Clouden. Next minute he's under pressure from Max Mulder. Max trying his very best to try and find a way through at this minute, but can't seem to do so. Oh, he looks left, he looks right. Nowhere for him to go through there. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. I was trying doing something clever there, but it has not really worked. But anyway, O'Reilly pulling away. Barrett under a bit more pressure from Max Mulder. Max looks like he had a great exit there, but obviously the straight line advantage of the Mercedes will help him out here, and Max can't do anything about the Mercedes grunt. There's a car off. That sounds like Goudet. Possibly so, yes. That's why the pack is all congested again. And they're all very tightly packed here. But O'Reilly with a comfortable lead at the minute ahead of Sky Schondermeyer. Has actually stayed quite consistent there. And Goudet now trying to break the toe. And everyone goes to follow. But S2M Borobex needs the toe, really. And is Goudet just starting to hold him up? Yes, that's allowed Clouden through. How easy is Clouden going to pass Goudet now? Max Mulder's just dropped off the back of there with this. Maybe he's just being conservative and just waiting for something to happen like that. Barrett's dropped it all on his own. And there's a free position there for Max Mulder. Barrett's in the wall. He's going to have to wait until there's clear traffic. Holling goes through, as does Beasley. So does Nuclear Waste. And Raiden as well. DJ Phil will come through as well. Oh, just a little bit of an unsafe rejoin there. But either way, it is these three leading the way. O'Reilly, Schondermeyer and Duffin. Meanwhile, still Goudet, Clouden, S2M Borobex, Max Mulder, and then Holling, Beasley, and the rest of the pack. It is now the two BMWs at the minute going at it tooth and nail. And it looks like John Goudet is going to give that position up to Clouden. And defends heavily from S2M Borobex, who look to try and make a move if possible. And Clouden flashing the lights to say thank you to his friend as they head down towards the chicane. And both Goudet and looks like S2M Borobex was about to go deep, but Goudet's gone deep. Max Mulder's gone deep, and looks like he's got damage to the front end of that car. And Max Mulder just struggling here at Zandvoort at his home circuit, so hopefully he will try and get back into a rhythm here. And Barrett's also going to try and catch on to the back of DJ Phil. A little bit all stressed out at the minute. And Max Mulder's pitting. Max got damage to the car, and obviously he's needing to pit for that damage, or possibly low on fuel. Who knows? As we're at the halfway stage, the majority reckon O'Reilly's going to win this one. As we'll end the poll there. O'Reilly leading the way. That gap has come down ever so slightly. It has indeed. Sky's coming in a little bit more. Max is just dropping off the back of Sky at the minute. And our Clouden starting to pull away from S2M Borobex. Goudet currently in 6th. Then it is Beasley. Worked his way back up to 7th. We've got this fight between Nuclear Waste and Holling. Holling right on the back of Nuclear Waste at the minute. Look to the outside. The only Porsche remaining. There was plenty of Porsches at the start of the season, but this is all that is left now. So far, no way for him to go through. It's P. Raiden heading ahead of DJ Phil and Barrett as well. And Barrett trying to work his way onto the back of DJ Phil as best he possibly can. And looks like S2M Borobex is starting to come back at Jamal Clouden. So like I said, the Ginetto looking like the stronger car at this circuit. Meanwhile, Sky has matched O'Reilly once again. And again, Matt has matched the leaders also. So really your closest fight now is Nuclear Waste and Holling. And then it's now these two, as Barrett's coming back here to the back of the pad to work his way through. And Max Mulder has returned onto circuit, but he is a lap down. As we go down towards the start-finish straight, Barrett versus DJ Phil. And the grunt of the Mercedes should out-drag the Chevy. Into turn 1 they go, and Barrett gets the job done. So the all-black O'Reilly car, the 74, leading quite comfortably at this stage of the race. Not really much left to go on this race. 6.5 minutes to go. There's Kieran O'Reilly pulling away from Sky Shundermeyer. Sky was starting to bring that gap down, but slowly dropping down the order as Max Mulder gets out of Matthew's way. And through he goes. Yeah, Sky losing some time and actually losing to Matthew Duffin as well. So he overall lost time as Matt is trying to catch him as quickly as he can. And I think that is Max Mulder gone round. So he's having problems with his Aston here. And he's waited for cars to come through and wait for a clear section to get through. And he has managed to do so, which hasn't cost nobody at all there. So good job there from Max Mulder. This one's been a pretty stale race for these guys. There's not really much been going on. Obviously, a much lesser grid, but nonetheless, the circuit is very tricky as well. So it's not the easiest circuit to race on. And they've just got 5.5 minutes left to go. And everyone's pretty much in their own little... Well, they basically just challenge themselves against the circuit. Your closest fight is of Clouden and S2M Borough-Bex. Both of them you'll see in the week to come. You'll see S2M Borough-Bex back tomorrow night in the Pro-Am category in his McLaren. Seeing what you can do in the Pro-Am class. Jamal Clouden obviously making a return back into the Pro in his... Oh, he's touched the grass there. That probably would have unsettled the car ever so slightly. And the BMW probably starting to struggle now. As we go and look at your race leader. Choo Choo Thomas. Choo Choo Thomas indeed, as Barrett's also starting to catch Raiden at the minute. Barrett just trying everything he can just to get onto the back of the Alpine. Should be easier on the straights. Once again, S2M Borough-Bex very close to Clouden once again. He seems to catch the BMW and then the gap opens up. Goudet has actually lost out to Holland there, and he's gone deep. He's lost out to quite a few. He's lost out to Nuclear Waste, Holling, and Beasley as well. So Beasley has made it up to 6th. We see now Barrett now putting P. Raiden under some pressure. Mercedes versus Alpine. As they exit the final corner now, here comes Barrett in his Mercedes, possibly looking to the inside of turn 1. How hard is Barrett going to push this? He goes down the inside, Raiden sticking to the outside of the track, and through goes Barrett. Another position gain there. And once again, the top 3 just ebbing and throwing from one another. After Sky cleared most of the traffic, he hasn't been able to go any further back than 5.2, but not been able to get any closer than 4.7 to O'Reilly. So Sky Shundermeyer at the minute with a solid P2 at this stage. And Matthew Duffin just losing touch of the leaders at the minute. Jamal Clouden still ahead of S2M Borough-Bex. Max Mulder really struggling at this minute as Goudet's gone off and onto the grass. That's going to make him lose a couple of positions. He's lost out to Barrett. Is he going to lose out to Raiden here as Raiden sticks to the outside? And the Alpine can't do anything about the BMW. Meanwhile, O'Reilly still pushing on through. Schendelmeyer in second. Duffin third. Clouden fourth with Borough-Bex right behind him. They've possibly got 2 more laps to go. And Borough-Bex must be itching at the back of that BMW, wanting to find a way through and get up into that 4th place position. Right now, Sky is keeping the rest of them at bay. Further back, still in that strong second position. If he was able to make every race this season, he probably would have been one of the hot favourites for the championship. He still technically is, with no Tim Ventink here at the minute. It's allowing him to score decent points ahead of him. And he's ahead of Matthew Duffin as well, so it's still more points gained on the championship leaders. The only one that's ahead of him is a non-driver, and that is O'Reilly, who's in a lovely groove at the minute. Can Barrett catch Holland before the end of the race? That is the question. You can see there, Clouden really looking like he's starting to struggle with the BMW.
Leaders on final lap now.
We got confirmation that Kieran O'Reilly starts his final lap. Don't know why. Okay, O'Reilly leading the pack away, and S2M Burbeck's into the power section. You can see there where it just loses out. It was half a second the gap, and he's opened up to a second again just on the straights. Okay. It's working in the corners, but Clouden just excelling on the straights, as you would have thought in the BMW. Oh, God, didn't mean to hit drive. But Kay O'Reilly has had a phenomenal start. Lights the flag from pole position. Has had it under control all the way. And it's just got to get through these last couple of corners. It's going to be another podium for Sky once again. And also another podium to Matthew Duffin's name. Still not won a race here in his GT4, as I speak to him earlier. He doesn't reckon he's going to win one this season, but obviously Colin Turkington won a championship just by winning one race. So it can still happen, man. You can still win the title without even having to win a race. But either way, O'Reilly is coming into the final few corners now. Started on pole, took the fastest lap, and is now going to take the race win as well. It is O'Reilly exiting the final corner, and he will win the first race this evening. Congratulations to him. He takes the win here at Zandvoort. Sky Sundermeyer with a solid second place, and Matthew Duffin with a very strong third place to his name as well. As S2M Burbeck can't do anything about Clouden, so it's going to be Clouden who's going to finish in that fourth place position. Congratulations to him. S2M Burbeck finishing in fifth. Max Mulder finishing in 13th there, so hopefully his GT3 attempts will be a lot stronger than that. Nuclear Waste is going to come home for that sixth place position, just ahead of Richard Beasley, who's just been hunted down by Holling right at the end, and Barrett as well, who will finish 8th and 9th. 10th is going to go the way of Raiden, and 11th is going to be Gude as well, just in the background coming home. And then finally bringing up the rear, it is DJ Phil. But your winner here for the first race was O'Reilly. We'll be back in a few moments' time. Go yourself and grab yourself a drink, and we will see you in a few moments' time for race 2. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to SimPlay Motorsport as we now get our qualifying session underway here for the first time for the GT4s this evening. And it's Matthew Duffin going straight out on track. And speaking of Matthew Duffin, after round 7 of the championship, it is Matthew Duffin who is leading the way in the championship. He now leads with 270 points to his name. His then closest rival is this man, Jamal Clouding, sat in second in the championship. He's on 266, 4 points behind him. With Richard Beasley now into P3 in the championship. Sky may have missed one race, but he is back in the championship hunt. He is 4th in the championship, 250 to his name. He's only 20 points behind. Tim Venting not making it here this evening, has dropped down in the order behind those guys. It is then Max Mulder in 6th place position, still 51 points behind with a lot to go. Esteban Borobex now moving up into that 7th place position in the championship, and you can see there Max really struggling this evening. So Esteban Borobex 7th in the championship, with Holling now in that 8th place position. Sam currently in 9th, with Raiden now in 10th place position also, moving his way up the order. That's also allowed Barrett back up into the top 11. He's currently 11th in the championship, with 12 going the way of Gary Leach. 13th is Skunky High, with Darren Bell in 15th, Croupiers in 16th, DJ Phil in 16th place position, with Goudet currently in 18th place position in the championship. I don't know. Some of the drivers need taking out of this so I can see what the actual standings is. But Goudet currently 19th on this tables at the minute, with Kimberly sitting in 20th. 21st is now Kieran O'Reilly, with 22nd is Diz, 23rd is Michael, with 25th Cardoff, with 26th going away as Nuclear Waste, and Dean Wasaki bringing up the rear also. So guys, that is the state of the championship at the minute. There's a poll going out now on who you think will take pole position here at Zandvoort. So get your votes in on who you think will take the pole position. Sky Shondemeyer, Matthew Duffin, Kieran O'Reilly or Jamal Clouden. It is up to you, so please get your votes in. If you don't think it's any of them, please drop it in the chat as well. But it's going to be Matthew Duffin who's going to set the pace at the minute, currently out on track first as he comes into the final few corners. Like I said, still not had a race win to his name, but he is leading the championship and quite a strong chance of winning the title overall, even though, like I said, no win to his name. He's just been consistent and staying out of trouble, while also carrying that weight on board. But Matt, though, at the minute in the middle sector, coming down towards the final sector now. And what is going to be the benchmark here, as we saw in the practice session, it was 44 as we were looking at. Matthew Duffin exits the final corner now, getting right out onto the curb there, and toward the line he comes, and he goes with a 45.3, so possibly a little bit more time to be had. But nonetheless, it is a good benchmark to start off with. Then it is Raiden next to the line. So I gotta get closer to my TV so I can actually see the numbers. Luckily, I can see the cars in the background. It is then going to be Raiden. No lap time on the board is going to be Barrett then to cross the line, and he goes into 2nd place. Then it's the number 3 of Holling exiting the final corner now. What can Holling do at the minute? Comes to the line in the Porsche, and he goes into a P3 behind Barrett. Then it is the 95 of Max Mulder. What has Max got to offer here? He comes to the line and puts himself into 2nd, just 2 tenths behind Matthew Duffin. Then we have got Jamal Clouden to the line next, and he was on an outlap. And there's going to be DJ Phil in the Chevy Camaro next to come towards the line. Exits the final corner. And just to get a lap time on the board, 10 minutes left of qualifying. A few cars still in the pits at the minute. DJ Phil goes into 5th place. Then got the number 8 of Goudet, who's had a bit of a moment coming into the penultimate corner. Now exiting the final corner. Runs a little wide, has to check out a little bit there. We're coming to the line now. And Goudet, no lap time on the board. 74, that is O'Reilly. No ballast on board the car, so he could be as fast as he possibly can. To the line, out lap possibly for him. It is now Duffin back on another lap. And he improves. He finds 3/10, goes to a 45.0. We then look to Raiden and Barrett. Has Raiden finally got a lap time on the board? He comes to the line. He does, puts himself ahead of DJ Phil, and we will not see him for the rest of the session. Barrett goes into second place now, 2/10 off the back of the fastest. Then we've got the number 3 of Holland. Any improvement from himself? There is an improvement, but not to really disturb the top 3. Then we've got the 95 of Max Mulder coming to the line. Third at the minute. Improves by a 10th, but that's all we can find at this stage. Jamal Clouden once again to the line. Where is this going to put him? He goes into P3 and knocks Max Mulder down, so that is 4/10 off the overall fastest set by Matthew Duffin. And once again we see the Chevy Camaro coming out of the final corner here at Zandvoort for the 8th round of the championship now, going into the final race of the evening. And DJ Phil does not improve. 8 is Goudet. Come saying he's on an invalid lap. Possibly true, possibly not. But Goudet, though, out the final corner. In the BMW, what can he do? Currently 12th at the minute. And it puts him into 6th place position. So, good lap time from him. O'Reilly, though, possibly also on another good lap time from him. And he goes top with a 44.8. Meanwhile, Duffin's right behind. He looks like he was on the improvement. No, he does not improve and stays in second. But nonetheless, that is a good position for him to be in. As S2M Burbex comes out on track now. And Barrett now on a lap time, coming towards the line. Any improvement? No improvement for himself. As we've just gone past the halfway stage of this qualifying session. So Barrett did find an improvement, but not that much. Holling, no improvement there for him. As it's then Jamal Clouden next in the final corner. And see what the BMW can do. 6/10 off the pace at the minute. Cross the line, no improvement for himself. So still time to find some lap time underneath him. Chevy Camaro of DJ Phil exiting the final corner now. Towards the line he comes. And he improves and goes ahead of Raiden, so DJ Phil gains a position there. And John Goudet now in the other BMW scene, trying to make improvement, get himself higher up the grid if he possibly can. Choosing a very loose BMW. He comes to the line and finds 2/10. Then it's O'Reilly. Can he improve his gap on Duffin? No improvement. Matt obviously going very wide in the background. And that is allowing other cars to try and improve. So Esteban Borbeck starting a lap, and Nuclear Waste also going to start his lap. I believe that is Max Mulder in the background. Yes, it is. He was in the pit, so he's probably starting a fast lap now. So who's currently on a lap? It is DJ Phil and Jamal Clouden, who's coming out into the chicane. And Jamal Clouden coming down towards the right-hander. Penultimate corner here at Zandvoort. Runs wide. I think he just keeps it within limits, but it is going to slow him down and ruin his exit. And he exits the final corner now. The 36, any improvement? 6/10 off. Where does this put him? No improvement, stays where he is. It is then DJ Phil on a lap. As I'm just going to try something here, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just give me 2 seconds, because I believe this is how we get our helicam. There it is. So we leave there. And there it is. So here is O'Reilly now exiting the final corner, heading towards turn number 1. And 44.8. No improvement there. Who is currently on a lap time? It looks like the 156 of Nuclear Waste. Just ahead of him was Esteban Borobex, who goes into 6th. And Nuclear Waste now coming home to complete a lap time and get a lap time on that board. And it puts him 6th. I believe Beasley and Schundelmeyer have got penalties to fulfill. Max Mulder crosses the line, no improvement. Who else is on a lap? The number 3 of Holling not on a lap at the minute. Duffin now starting a lap. So see if Holling has improved or not. I don't think he's on a quick lap, but either way, we'll have a look to the line. 1.9 off, no improvement from himself there. And also Jamal Clouden, I believe, has invalidated his lap time as well. They all got time to get back in and try and get some fresh tyres on and also fuel up the cars. They've only got 10 sets of tyres to use. Obviously for the GT4s, they won't really worry about them too much. But the GT3s, on the other hand, will. And who's that in the final corner? That is DJ Phil. Coming to the line now, DJ Phil. Any improvement? No improvement from himself. We've got 2 cars currently in the final sector. I believe one is Goudet and the other one is O'Reilly. O'Reilly 8/10 at the minute. A 10th ahead of Matt. And he does not improve and moves out of the way of Goudet, who carries on through. But it's Esteban Borobex next to the line, 1.8 off the pace. And he goes within 1.4, closer to Nuclear Waste, who's a whole second off the pace at the minute, but possibly on an improvement here. No improvement from himself. Duffin invalidated his lap time and does not improve anyway. And then I believe it is Max Mulder on an improved lap. It is, and he goes fastest overall. So Max Mulder, fastest of the session, and O'Reilly loses his pole position. Can anyone improve as Barrett goes 4th, or stays 4th, might I say. Holling now in 3rd place position. Sorry, not 3rd, he's running the number 3. 8th at the minute. 1.9, 5/10 to find to get closer to Esteban Borobex. He gets within a 10th of Borobex, so you can possibly find a little bit more time in there. Jamal Clouden now in the final corner. What can he do here? Any improvement from the BMW driver? To the line. No improvement for himself. Who's next on a lap time? It is then Goudet, currently on a valid lap. I believe it's the 53 of DJ Phil, currently 10th. I doubt this will be an improvement. As I thought, no improvement from himself there. But Max Mulder at the minute taking pole position as it stands. And O'Reilly's not coming out, so no threat from him. Goudet does improve, but doesn't improve his position. Who's that into the final few corners? It was the 68 of Esteban Borobex. No improvement there for himself. It is now Matthew Duffin next to the line. And he now goes pole position. So Matthew Duffin taking the pole away with a 44.7. Max is back in the pits. It is now really Barrett and Clouden really who could do anything about that. As Barrett comes to the line. And no improvement from him, as the stupid thing here allows me to go back to the pits. So next is Jamal Clouden on a lap. Matthew Duffin still going, just in case Jamal Clouden has got something in the tank. We've obviously still got Goudet out on track as well. Even DJ Fields returned back to pits. But we're looking at Jamal Clouden, a little bit wide on exit there. He comes to the line now. Is this going to be any improvement? No, he boxes and pits. So Jamal Clouden is done. And I'm pretty sure, unless Barrett's got something amazing underneath him, I think that is pole position for Matthew Duffin. Goudet's gone off. It is just now Duffin and Barrett left on circuit. At the minute, I don't know if Matthew is on an improvement at the minute, but he's attacking the chicane. Just under attempt separating Max Mulder and Matthew Duffin. But Matt seems to be on a quicker lap. He's still going for it. I guess he's just comparing anything that Barrett does. Matt is now into the pits. He is done. So has Barrett got any answer for the top three? O'Reilly looked strong for pole, but then lost it to Mulder. Then lost it to Duffin. Here comes Barrett now. Is he going to spoil the party? Is he going to take pole position here? He gets within 2/10, but that is all he can do. Fantastic stuff there. But it is Matthew Duffin who will start pole position. Your championship leader starts on pole here. And is this the opportunity that he needs now to take a race win this season? We shall see. But nonetheless, a great qualifying session there from Matthew Duffin. And we will get a poll going for who you think is going to win a race 2. Excuse me. If you haven't done so, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell to be notified so you don't miss anything here. Excuse me, at SimPlay Motorsport. Excuse me. As I will get the poll out for you guys. We sadly won't be able to see another Grand Slam. And this is all the drivers we have this evening as well. And like I said, we usually tend to go with the top 4 for the prediction on race winner, but obviously if you guys think anyone else, then please obviously put your vote in the chat. So I wanted to go to helicopter cam,
30 seconds.
but it hasn't saved it, so fantastic. But nonetheless, we'll try this out.
20 seconds.
So in 20 seconds to get going. If you guys haven't done so, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell to be notified so you don't miss anything here at SimPlay Motorsport. Tomorrow night, the Pro-Ams will be back with myself and Matthew Duffin, giving you all the action at Zandvoort here this week. And let us try this again. There we go. So we are on the helicopter cam. And it's going to be Matthew Duffin who will set the pace here this evening. Annoyingly, it doesn't go in the correct order. But it's going to be Max versus Matt on the front row, Aston versus Janetta. Keep an eye out for Sky Schundermeyer as well in the background. O'Reilly has got nothing to lose as well, so he'll be on the attack. So on board the drivers here. Max getting his car ready to go racing here. And there's Sky, this is what he's seen at the back of the pack. a lot of cars to come through, and you can see a lot of drivers taking different ways to get their cars all set up and ready to go. Mercedes-Benz, Barrett, what can he do from P4? Clouden also wants to try and score some decent points here. His championship rivals are in front and behind him. They've got a lot of work today. Goudet in that 9th place position. DJ Phil in the Chevy Camaro, see what he can do in that car. Raiden in P11. Holland in P8. Your winner from the last race, Riley. There's S2M Borobex. And your pole man, Matthew Duffin. As they now get themselves in a 2x2 formation. But once again, guys, it's Ginetta versus Aston Martin. Max Mulder versus Matthew Duffin on the front row. 4 votes so far, and it's gone 50-50 split between these two. Who is going to get this one tonight? 20-minute race. Who is going to be victorious here this evening in the GT4 Zandvoort Championship? Just Zolder and Valencia to go. But it's both M's on the front row. Max versus Matt. Ginetta versus Aston. Wales versus the Netherlands. We're at Dutch soil as we're about to go green here at Zandvoort for the second time this week. And Matt gets a fairly decent start. O'Reilly's got a good start as well as they head towards turn number 1. And there already Max going a little bit wide, and as you can see the helicopter cam showing a lot more of what's going on. And there S2M Borobex has spun Barrett round, and everyone's got congested there at the back, but they managed to work their way through the order. But your top 4 have got away, and Clouden actually jumping Barrett, obviously being spun around earlier on by S2M Borobex. And everyone else has managed to get going, but it's Max Mulder and Matthew Duffin going at it for the start of this race. Max not able to get up the inside of Matthew Duffin there. But Matt needs to use the Ginetta grunt and try and put away from the Aston Martin at this stage. As they head now down towards the middle sector, these 4 all stay in line astern, but Max got a little bit wide. That's allowing O'Reilly to have a look up the inside of the right-hander, but can't do anything about it. Now that's allowed Clouden to have a look up the inside. Meanwhile, what else is going on further back? As S2M Borobex goes a little bit wide, that's allowing Beasley to get a little bit closer, and Sky Schondermeyer also to look to make a move. Matthew Duffin leading the way from Max Mulder, from O'Reilly, who's under pressure from Clouden, who's looking up the inside. The BMW grunt are pressurising the Ginetta, but can't get the job done. Meanwhile, S2M Borobex still ahead of O'Reilly and Holling and Schondermeyer. But they all worked their way through the order. And now I will change camera. Now we've got what we needed. Hopefully I don't miss nothing. As we are back on track with the guys, and it's Matthew Duffin leading the way, and fastest lap from Max, from O'Reilly, from Clouden, from Nuclear Waste, from S2M Borobex, Holland, Beasley, Schondermeyer, Holling, all in that group, Goudet, Raiden, Green, and then a Barrett at the back of the pack. At the minute, Matt's got everything under control. A lot of his championship contenders fighting at the minute in the pack. And it's Clouden trying to make a move on O'Reilly. O'Reilly has nothing to lose here. He can push and work his way through the order if he possibly can, while the others have got to be a little bit more conservative, thinking of their championship. And O'Reilly trying to put some pressure on Max Mulder ahead, but Max having none of it at the minute. He's purely focusing on the car in front. But that is Matt extending the gap at the minute and pulling away from Max Mulder in second. Third is O'Reilly. Fourth is Clouden. Fifth is Waste from S2M Borobex, who's starting to get some pressure from Beasley. Into the chicane they go. But Ginetta looking very strong around here at Zandvoort. Not easy to overtake. But keep an eye on Sky Schondermeyer in the Aston Martin, pushing as hard as he can and looking for an opportunity to find a way past on the cars in front. Meanwhile, O'Reilly's now starting to catch on to the back of Mulder. And O'Reilly sets the fastest lap of the race. Onto the grass he goes and just keeps it off track there. Beasley looking to the inside of turn one, but can't get the job done against the Ginetta of S2M Borobex. Oh, and S2M Borobex had to check up on turn one, which gave Beasley a massive check up and allowing Schondermeyer to get a little bit closer. Can Sky find a way through this gaggle of cars at the minute? Meanwhile, keep an eye on Max and O'Reilly. They're starting to get congested, and that's allowing Matt to disappear. We go back to this three-way fight at the minute. Beasley looking up the inside. Can't find a way through there. He gets really close onto the back of the Ginetta of S2M Borobex. Minute can't seem to find a way through at this stage, can the Aston Martin. But Sky Schondermeyer has a look up the inside. Beasley looking like he made a slight mistake, but Sky straight into the slipstream. Meanwhile, Max still under some pressure from the guys behind him, and that is Riley and Clouden. Clouden, though, not able to stick with him quite just yet. But if they start fighting quite hard, then O'Reilly will be very much interested. Meanwhile, Sky Schondermeyer still attacking Beasley. He's on the outside for the left now. Oh, and they make contact. The Sky managing just to get back in order there. And we'll have to try something else next time round. But once again, Mulder now in this time setting fastest lap of the race. So starting to bring that gap back down to Matt. As we've still got this three-way fight turning into a four-way fight. S2M Borobex just kind of the cork in the bottle at the minute. Doing a very good job at the minute, just staying in front of these on the grass onto the curb ever so slightly. And Sky Schondermeyer sees an opening and he goes for it and gets past Beasley, and Beasley gets pushed wide. And Sky Schondermeyer makes a position up there as Beasley drops down the order. Meanwhile, Duffin under some pressure from Mulder and now O'Reilly, who's gone with him. Clouden hasn't really gone with them either, so Clouden just dropping off the back here as the top three now pulling away from the BMW, which we thought it would struggle here, but it should be a lot stronger come Zolder for sure. S2M Borobex, though, still under some pressure from Sky Schondermeyer this time. And Sky trying to get that undercut. The Aston Martin should be a little bit stronger in a straight line, but not quite this time. The Ginetta able to keep Sky under. And Sky having to try and find a creative way to get past the Ginetta, and he might have done so here. He undercuts the Ginetta, but can't find a way through there and has to wait a little bit longer. Meanwhile, your top three coming out the final corner. They are pretty much nose to tail. 6 tenths, 5 tenths between the top three. 1.1 separating the top three altogether. Clouden just off the back. And there, Sky Schondermeyer's got the job done. And now S2M Borobex is under pressure from Holland, who's down the inside. S2M Borobex is going to try and use the banking, but runs wide. And there goes Holling through up another position while Beasley continues his fight with S2M Borobex. Max, though, not looking like he had a very strong final couple of corners there. And that's putting him under pressure from Riley. And Riley looking for any way through if he possibly can. But Max a lot stronger in this middle sector compared to Matt. and trying to bring that gap down. We're just about to come up to the halfway stage of this sprint race. And Max Mulder's gone wide. O'Reilly's got a better exit out the final corner, but hasn't got the straight line speed to go with the Aston. And Mulder holds on to that position and goes a little bit deep into the chicane. That's all right, he'll check up and get going again. Meanwhile, Sky Schondermeyer's already cleared that gaggle of cars and is onto the back of Nuclear Waste. So Sky is flying at the minute, and there is contact there. Esteban Borbeck spilling, Holling around. Holling waiting for cars to come through. And there they all go through. Holling is going to get going anytime soon. He's just waiting there. The entire pack has gone through. But Matthew Duffin now pulling away from Max Mulder and O'Reilly, Cloudin in fourth. Nuclear Waste under some pressure from Sky Schondermeyer. Although he's been under some traffic, he has been pretty quick here as Sky, and he is working his way forward. Sky now, what can he do about Nuclear Waste? He's looking left, he's looking right, but he can't find a way through at the minute past the other Aston Martin driver. Max Mulder, though, coming under some immense pressure from O'Reilly. Oh, Max a little bit squirrely there. He's under some pressure from behind, and he's too busy now looking in his rear views and not looking forward. Meanwhile, has Sky cleared Nuclear Waste? Not yet. And Esteban Borbeck has lost out to Beasley, obviously, with that contact in the chicane. But right now, Mulder in a bit of a Ginetta sandwich as they head up towards the chicane. Max Mulder really abusing the curbs as much as he can, but it's probably hurting his exit, and that's allowing Duffin just to creep away. Cloudin's just in the background, but nothing he can really do at this stage. As we are past the halfway point. Up towards turn one they go. So Matthew Duffin still ahead of Max Mulder, ahead of O'Reilly. Nuclear Waste still ahead of Schondermeyer, so Sky's not able to make the ground that he would like. Who they've got a bit of a gap to make up to Cloudin, but if anything happens to the top three, Cloudin is in the box seat to capitalise and get onto the podium. But a very, very close fight between the top three. Matt running a little bit wide there. And once again, Sky right there, looking for some way to go through. And Mum egging him on, Tracy in the chat saying, go Sky. And he's looking left, he's looking right, but he can't find a way through at this stage. But he's trying everything he possibly can. Oh, he's looking to the outside there. And that's allowed a door to open because Nuclear Waste has gone wide, and Sky Schondermeyer moves his way up the order. Now Mulder and Duffin once again close company. And Duffin now just trying to hang in there. He's got 8 minutes left of this race. He's got a car that's very fast and aggressive of Max Mulder. He's got a new driver of Riley who has nothing to lose whatsoever. And Mulder right on the rear wing of Duffin. But right now, Matt is doing everything right at this stage. He's just got to keep his composure, keep it focused, and he'll finally get his first win. Now, looks like O'Reilly had a look of an opportunity up the inside, but couldn't quite get the job done there. the next question is, how quickly can Sky Schondermeyer catch Jamal Clouden? We're sticking with this fight at the minute because we don't know what is going to happen with these group of cars at this stage. Barrett, after his spin already, back up to 10th place. Can't do anything about a Goudet. But there's the gap for Sky and Jamal Clouden. It's quite a bit of a gap at the minute, but he might be able to get the job done. And Max is off! Max has got major damage, and I knew as soon as we came away something was going to happen. Max Mulder has major damage, and that's allowed Jamal Clouden to move up into the podium positions, which could possibly mean Sky Schondermeyer could be on the podium if he can hunt down Jamal Clouden towards the end. Has there been contact between Max Mulder and O'Reilly? O'Reilly's car doesn't look like it's got damage, but Max Mulder's car is broken. So now the fight between the top two, the two Ginettas, who is going to take pride here tonight. Max Mulder obviously keeping the fastest lap of the race for his name, but he's got major damage. He's got Beasley right behind him. Sky still trying to hunt down Clouden, but he's not doing enough at the minute. They head into the middle sector, and once again Matt's doing everything that he needs to do. Max meanwhile is pulled away from Richard Beasley, and looks like Richard Beasley's lost out to Max Mulder and Esteban Barra-Bex. Goudet's not a million miles away, but there's Sky Schondermeyer. He's brought the gap down to Jamal Clouden, but is it enough? That's the question. But we go back to the front and look at this. Matthew Duffin versus O'Reilly. And like I said, O'Reilly's got nothing to lose here. So Matt's got to be very careful on who he's racing here. He's got, I think, either a win or a championship. And obviously he would love a race win. So right now O'Reilly looking for an opportunity to try and find any opportunity, any door to open so he can work his way past Matthew Duffin. And obviously if we get in the chat and Max Mulder's into the pits, he's got major damage to that car and can't continue on. If we get into the Discord chat, we should be able to hear maybe O'Reilly. I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to do it, but nonetheless we will try my very best to make it work. But either way, O'Reilly looking for an opportunity. But Matt right now just got him covered. With only 3 minutes left to go. There's not much time left. And meanwhile, another thing that's got to keep an eye on is Jamal Clouden is being caught by Sky Schondermeyer pretty rapidly at the minute. I reckon it's going to be a one last lap attack from Sky right at the end. And Barrett's caught Goudet as well, so there's loads of fights going on. But Duffin at the minute has got O'Reilly covered. And I reckon we have 2 laps to go. And Matt's just got to survive that long. Meanwhile, Sky is hunting Clouden down. 1.3 is the gap. Nicola Wace had a very good race this race and has just stayed out of trouble in P5. Esteban Borobex in 6th, Beastie 7th, Goudet 8th, 9th is Barrett, and working his way forward, Raiden in 10th, DJ Phil is under some pressure from Holling there, and Holling just touching the gravel ever so slightly. Max Mulder has come back out on track. We go back to the front. It is still Duffin versus O'Reilly. And also there is a poll for you guys to get your votes on driver of the day. As you can see, still O'Reilly putting so much pressure onto the back of Duffin. But Duffin, after many championships, and O'Reilly, I think he just touched the curb ever so slightly, which kind of turned into a attack that he didn't really want to do. But Matt was covered and ready for it. But either way, it is coming down to the wire here as they exit the final corner now. 1 lap to go, and as I said on the last lap, Sky would have caught Clouden, and here he is onto the back of him.
Leader's on the final lap now.
Leader is on the final lap. Can Matthew Duffin hang on to one more lap to get a win this season? Meanwhile, Nuclear Waste seems to have P5 in hand. It's who's going to finish on the podium between these two now. But we will stick to this fight. At the minute, we will keep swapping and changing between the two. As once again, the game has decided to put me into drive just literally as it ends. But the two Ginettas going at it. O'Reilly's really looking for any opportunity he can. Any mistake, any chink in Matt's armour, and he is going to attack. He's right there. He's putting him right under pressure. Meanwhile, Schundelmeyer still putting Clouden under pressure. Meanwhile, Barrett is also putting Goudet under pressure, with Holling also putting DJ Phil under pressure. So fights are happening right to the very end. But it's Duffin, O'Reilly, Schundelmeyer, Clouden, Goudet, Barrett. Beasley's also now on the back of S2M Borobeck. So there's two fights. But I think Matthew Duffin might have done enough here. Into the penultimate corner, into the final corner. Get your votes on driver of the day. But what a drive from Matthew Duffin, who exits the final corner. He said he wasn't going to get a race win. He's got one here tonight at Zandvoort. Congratulations to him. O'Reilly finishes in second. It is then going to be Jamal Clouden with that BMW grunt, saving him to the end there. Once again, Sky Schundelmeyer giving him a fantastic fight right to the very end in 4th place. Nuclear Waste, an honourable mention for driver of the day. Fantastic 5th place for him. And here comes Beasley to the line against S2M Borobeck, but it's going to go the way of Borobeck and then Beasley. Goudet is just going to hang in there ahead of Barrett in P8 and 9. Raiden's going to finish in P10, and Holling got DJ Phil at the end, the only person to grab their their rival. As P. Raiden crosses the line in 10th. Holland is going to exit the final corner to take an 11th place position away from DJ Phil, who finishes in 12th. And Max Mulder is going to come home in 13th place position and takes fastest lap, and he's doing a bit of drifting out there as well. So if Max can get to the line as quickly as possible, that would be fantastic. But as Matthew Duffin takes the win from O'Reilly, from Clouden, and then it is Schundelmeyer from Nuclear Waste, from S2M Borobeck, Beasley, Goudet, Barrett, Raiden, Holling, DJ Phil, and then Max Mulder, who's also taken the fastest lap of the race as well. We'll just wait for some of the boys to come into the commentary box. But Max Mulder now coming to the line to complete the grid, and that was Zandvoort done. Congratulations to our race winners of Matthew Duffin and O'Reilly. And guys, keep getting your votes in for driver of the day. And yeah, get your votes in for driver of the day. If you haven't done so, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell to be notified so you don't miss anything here at SimPlay Motorsport. And like I said, have a look down in the description below to see our fantastic sponsors of Design Manchester and Audio Sport as well. Make sure you tune in for the rest of the week as well, as we've got some exciting racings ahead of you this week. We've got the Pro-Am boys making a return to Zandvoort. How are they going to negotiate this circuit with pretty much 20 plus cars racing around here? It's going to be interesting to see how all those cars get around this tight, twisty circuit. And then the pros will return. We're looking like we're going to have this beautiful sunshine all week long, so make sure you see how all the racing pans out this week. But we do have currently one driver in for a chat with us, and that is Matthew Duffin. And Matt, if you're there, buddy, please here, just say hello. Yeah, you're here. Just before we went live this evening, you told me this season that you weren't going to get a race win in GT4s.
Yeah.
How wrong were you?
Yeah, very. It's a tough grid this year. Tough grid, good grid.
Obviously, a lot of drivers here this evening didn't make it, which obviously went into your favour. But nonetheless, you've got to be happy with that.
You've got to do the job, haven't you, on the night? Clouden, Orby, Max and Sky were still here, and we knew that they're the big rivals. I'm chuffed with that, with 35 kilos.
Yeah, definitely indeed. And obviously, that's obviously a brief mention to O'Reilly as well, who gave you a hard time towards the end of that race. But Zandvoort's never been easy to overtake, and one particular car has shown that it is very difficult to overtake around the circuit. But nonetheless, you and the Ginetta of yourself and O'Reilly looked like the strongest package this evening.
I thought the Ginetta would be good here. More corners, and we know the Ginetta struggles in a straight line without the ballast. We know it gains through the corners, and that's where the Ginetta's good. So we thought the Ginetta would be good. O'Reilly was fantastic all night. Fair play to him. Sky had a great race, won. And I just couldn't catch him. But yeah, the Ginetta was fantastic at this circuit, and I thought that it was going to be good. Didn't think it would, you know, it's hard with the ballast because we obviously big touring car fans. We saw the ballast do and want the ballast to do what it does in the touring cars, and it looks like it does that. And you could see in that race, Max was lighter, and O'Reilly had no ballast, and you know, you just couldn't. There was no getting away from them. They was just on it all the time.
Of course, when you have those drivers that have no weight, it's difficult to catch. You've been pretty consistent this season, pretty consistently at running out of fuel, which I'm struggling to understand because these cars don't use a lot of fuel. How obviously tonight you've managed to negotiate that problem, but how tricky are they compared to the GT3s?
Well, with GT3s, you know you've got that pit stops. You know you don't have to push it. You know kind of roughly you've got to pit, especially this season, 25 seconds. You've got to put a good, you know, you can put 120 litres in, is still going to be 25 seconds. With the GT4s, especially when you're in one that lacks on the straights, with some of the circuits we've had, it's kind of been right. Let's make the car as light as possible, especially in recent weeks with the ballast. We need to combat that. And let's try and negate it. Twice, I've been one lap short. And that's kind of, you know, cost me a couple of places, cost me 2 podiums. But, like you say, consistency, pointsy, first win of the season, you know, lead the championship, I think, coming away from that now. So that's pretty much a bit of a Colin Turkington-esque championship so far. And we've got, what, Zolder, in which I'm pretty good round Zolder. I think I've got 6 race wins around there at SimPlay over GT3s and other formats. Lamborghini rear wings in my front grille. And you know, I'm pretty good there. I don't know how good the Ginetta is going to be. It's going to be tough.
Obviously, Valencia is a big open circuit, so we'll see how these GT4s get on there in general. But nonetheless, congratulations on this evening, and hopefully we should hopefully see you back in the GT3s next season, whatever happens. But either way, look forward to Zolder, and we'll speak to you tomorrow night in the comms box.
Yeah, look forward to that one, obviously.
And congratulations on Driver of the Day, voted by the fans as well. And I'm going to give you Driver of the Day as well.
Thank you very much.
But O'Reilly is definitely closely behind, as Sky Schondermeyer, because Sky decided to do a qualifying ban in this one, and he managed to work his way back up into 4th place, which is a fantastic drive. But nonetheless, those were the GT4s at Zandvoort. We will bring you more action tomorrow night for the Pro-Ams, as they'll be hitting the circuit here. 20-plus cars possibly around this circuit. It was tricky with just 13. Let's see how a full pack of cars are going to handle this circuit, and much bigger cars. I'm currently looking at it at the minute. Actually, we've only got 18 confirmed at the minute, so possibly another 2 more yet to confirm, but it should be an interesting one as well. But nonetheless, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to be notified. We shall see you tomorrow night for some GT3 action, and then obviously Thursday night Matt and PN will give you the action for the pros as well. But from us all here at SimPlay Motorsport, is congratulations to Matt, who now leads the title from Jamal Cloud and Sky Schondermeyer, Beasley, Ventink and Mulder is your top 6. Those are the championship contenders, and we'll see how they all get on at Zolder in a week's time. Good night.
Good night.